We're Megan and Isabella, a mother-daughter team of chocolate makers and chocolatiers on the Caribbean island of Cozumel. We usually spend our time here in our little shop making chocolate from bean to bar to bonbon. During this time that our doors can't be open to the public, we'll be showing you guys every week how we make chocolate at home. So please get ready and dive in with us. Hello, welcome back.
Hi, I'm Megan.
I'm Isabella, and last week we showed you guys how to get a batch of craft chocolate going at home, and this week we're going to show you guys how to pop it out, how to temper it, and tell you a little bit about what you need to be able to make it at home. So what we use is our Premier grinder. This is a grinder that comes from India, and it was originally manufactured for people to grind spices and make curry paste and such, so that's not what we use it for. That's not what most people now use it for. Well, actually, I'm sure in India, a lot of people still use it for that. But it's used a lot in the chocolate industry now for craft chocolate makers. So it's what enables us to be able to make craft chocolate on a small scale. And although it is pretty affordable, it's a couple $100s, it still might not be your everyday kitchen tool. So there's other things that you can use to make chocolate at home as well.
Yeah, so this is if you want to make really refined chocolate, like silky chocolate bars. But if you're okay with a little more rustic chocolate, you can use your Cuisinart, you can use coffee grinder even, or a molcajete or a metate, which is like a mortar and pestle, Mexican mortar and pestle made with volcanic rock. And it's so much fun because here in Mexico they make the chocolate on a mortar and pestle, and they have a fire going underneath, and so they're actually conching it, and they make the most amazing chocolate just out in front of homes in Oaxaca and different states throughout Mexico. Even here in Cozumel, you can find people making their own chocolate. So yeah, we're really lucky that cacao grows in this region. But Cozumel isn't known for chocolate, but it did grow here. Cacao grew here more than 1,000 years ago. So yeah, we're actually looking for the local strain of it. So hopefully we'll find it one day.
So we source our cacao from a small family plantation in the state of Tabasco. We work with them directly. But you can find cacao to make chocolate at home from a local chocolate maker, from our website. You can also look up farms directly from any origin that interests you and then see if they can send you some cacao, either fermented dried beans, or you could also ask them for roasted nibs. It depends how much to the root of the process you want to get to, if you want to roast and winnow, or if you just want to start with the grinding. So it's really up to you. I know some people that have even bought cacao beans on eBay, but I think it's best to try to find a farmer directly or work directly with a chocolate maker that can sell you some good beans.
Yeah, it's always nice when you can actually smell the beans. So if they've already been fermented and dried, they should smell absolutely amazing as you roast them. As you start roasting them, it should smell like brownies in the oven. It's absolutely amazing. So when you get really good nibs, cacao nibs, when you start this process, your cacao should smell like brownies in the oven. And if you start with that, you know you're gonna do well. So the other thing that is really important in the whole chocolate making process is your sugar. And you can use pretty much any type of sugar. Coconut sugar, Splenda, you can use whatever you want.
Splenda?
Well, we don't. We only use coconut sugar and pellet steel, but you could. You could use anything you want. The key to this is it has to be dry. So for example, you can't use powdered sugar because it's too moist. So if you're unsure whether or not your sugar is completely dry, put it in the oven for 5 minutes. Just put it on a tray, put it in the oven. You can have no moisture in this. Even a little drop of water will ruin your entire batch of chocolate.
Yeah.
For being able to temper it anyway. You could still eat it, it would still taste good, but you would not be able to temper it and form solid chocolate. So yeah, you want to make sure everything's right, and that's including if you're making milk chocolate. You can't just pour milk in here. You need to use, we would use, for example, dried coconut milk. So everything has to be dried.
Yeah.
And then put in dried, and then you can temper it.
Yep. Which leads us to tempering.
to temper or not?
So we hand temper all of our chocolate, which means that we basically go through the whole process of elevating the temperature, decreasing the temperature, elevating the temperature again, and getting it to that perfect tempering point manually. So we do it tabletop with a blow dryer and with some tools, and we're going to show you guys how to do it.
And we actually have a tempering machine. We'll show it to you guys so you don't buy it because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So we've just, any of the machines we've bought, we've realized, and because we're such a small production, you know, we do really low production, a big tempering machine isn't what we need right now. So the smaller ones just, they're not worth it. And they're expensive. They're a couple $1,000s.
Now, if you're making chocolate, if you're making the grainier chocolate using a Cuisinart or a blender or a molcajete, a mortar pestle, you might not even need to temper. That type of chocolate is really good to make as drinking chocolate. That's what the typical traditional chocolate is here in Mexico. You could temper it. I know some chocolate companies that do temper their drinking chocolate, but if you're making that type of grainy chocolate at home, you don't need to temper it. If you're making drinking chocolate, it's not necessary. You're gonna melt it down anyway.
And then I recommend just adding a little cinnamon.
You can add some nuts, even some almonds or nuts of your choice into the grinding process, and definitely some spices if you're gonna make it a drinking chocolate. And for that, you know, that scenario, don't have to worry about tempering. First, we're gonna get the chocolate out of our grinder. Your chocolate is all in a bowl. You're gonna wanna heat it up to 45 to 50 degrees with a blow dryer. So once the chocolate's reached the melting temperature of 45 degrees, we're going to start the cooling process. We're doing this today tabletop, so this means that we're pouring the chocolate right onto our cold piece of marble, and we're just going to keep spreading it around until it's cooled to 28 degrees. You can do this a couple of different ways. You can also just leave the chocolate in the bowl, put it in a cool room, and stir it occasionally. It will eventually lower down to 28 degrees Celsius, but doing it this way is just going to make it go a little faster. There's no perfect way to do this. You just basically want to spread it around as much as you can. Make sure it's getting as much contact with the cold marble. It's really a fun activity. It's so calming. It feels like you're meditating. You can just get lost in the chocolate. And you're just going to keep doing this as the chocolate reduces temperature. You should feel it start to get a little bit thicker as the temperature drops. You really just want to give it its time. This took me about 5 minutes, but it can really depend on the temperature of the room, the temperature of the marble, and a lot of other factors. So you want to just get into that meditative state and let it do its thing. You don't want to rush the process. Don't forget to keep checking the temperature throughout this process. You want to get that chocolate to 28 or 29 degrees Celsius, but you don't want to let it go too far below that. So keep an eye on the temperature throughout the process. As soon as that chocolate's gotten to 28, 29 degrees, you want to get it all back into a bowl, a clean bowl, and you're going to increase the temperature to 31, 32 degrees, which is tempering point. At this point, at 31, 32 degrees is when you're going to want to mold the tempered chocolate into your bars. So once we have our chocolate all back in the bowl, we're going to start heating it up with a blow dryer from 28 degrees Celsius to 31 to 32 degrees Celsius. So it's only going to take a couple of seconds with the blow dryer. Be really careful here. And as soon as you get it, start pouring it into the molds. You want to be pretty quick here and just spread it out as evenly as you can across your bars. You can put a little bit in each, or you can do as I did here and pour a bunch and just kind of move it around until all your bars are filled. You can let these sit at room temperature for a couple of minutes and they'll begin to harden around the edges, and once you see that, you can place them into a fridge, a clean fridge, to continue setting up. You'll know the chocolate's ready to be taken out of the mold when it just sort of separates itself from it. You won't have to put much effort in at all to get it out. And there you have it, some beautiful bean to bar craft chocolate made at home. So thank you guys for joining us today while we make bean to bar chocolate from scratch at home.
And what's really fun is then you put your own wrapper on it, you've got your own bar.
We hope you guys give it a go. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and let us know what your finished chocolate looks and tastes like.